Hi, and welcome back to my channel. We've had a wild week in the stock market, culminating in the news about Pfizer's potential vaccine for COVID. Of course, the algorithm is going to kill this video because it does not like people using that word, but it is what it is. It's very important for both my portfolio and the greater stock market, so we'll talk about that. On the day, we can see I'm down about $9. On the week, not too bad, up about 70. Over the past month now, up $1,100 or about 9%. 3 months, up nearly $2,000. On the year, up $39.40, and all-time now up about $3,900. That means the total investment in my portfolio is right at $9,600 here, as we can see. So up about 40.5% all-time. That was an additional $150 that I deposited into my account this past week. With that money, I purchased one share of Realty Income, or O. I now have 13. That share was $58.98. And of course, I purchased $50 worth of Bitcoin, or 0.00317 Bitcoin. The price there was the highest yet at 15,760.02. This is very interesting because Bitcoin has also flourished this week, but we'll get to that at the end of the video. Now we're going to talk about Pfizer's vaccine and what their CEO did that's a little bit interesting. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like the video. It makes a huge difference in the algorithm and getting this video out to as many people as possible. Here we have an article from Markets Insider about Pfizer's CEO cashing out 60% of his stock, just so happened to be on the same day the company unveiled the results of their vaccine trial. So here we have the facts. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla sold 62% of his stock in the company on the same day the drug maker announced the results of their vaccine trial. He sold 5.6 million in stock. It was a predetermined trading plan adopted August 19th. His stock sale was carried out at $41.94 a share. The 52-week high is $41.99. This is where it gets a little bit goofy. The fact that he was able to cash out so close to the top, and especially because he cashed out right there at $41.94, and then Pfizer stock tanked towards the end of the day, and it was down well into the high 30s. But here we can see Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech on Monday became the first to post positive results from a late-stage COVID-19 vaccine trial. So here they're just talking about the more specific pieces of this. They said his stock sale was carried out through a routine Rule 105(b)(1), a predetermined trading plan that allows company staff members to sell their stock in line with insider trading laws. His sale was part of a plan adopted in August, the filing showed. He continues to own over 81,000 shares of Pfizer. But the reason this is so interesting is that they say Dr. Bourla authorized the sale of these shares in August, provided the stock was at least at a certain price. Here's also the issue that I have. Towards the end of this article, they talk about the fact that there is this 90% effectiveness in theory, based on what we know, but at the same time, the vaccine is going to require 2 doses administered 3 weeks apart, and that's going to be a huge issue because it means twice the number of doses will be needed. On top of that, this vaccine does need to be stored at extremely low temperatures, which means that getting it across the ocean, getting it even across the country here in the United States is going to be extremely difficult, and unfortunately it may not be as effective as this trial would have led us to believe. But we'll talk about Pfizer stock a little bit more at the end of the video. I just thought it was something interesting to talk about. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. First stock for today is going to be Sunrun. Of course, we talk about this almost every week as it is the largest holding in my portfolio. And as I've mentioned in the past, it does show my total return being the exact same as the market value because those shares were originally Vivint Solar shares that were then transferred over to Sunrun after the merger. I believe my cost basis there was about $600 to $700, so over 100% return. That being said, Sunrun is down significantly. On the day, down about 1%. Over the past week, down 11%. If we zoom out to 3 months, we can see they were still up 15%, but over the past month now, down nearly 20%. Over the past year, up 260, and 5 years, up 545%. I've mentioned it before, this merger is going to decrease costs. It increases their market share. The solar industry is continuing to grow. We have a 78% buy rating, and their last earnings call was extremely positive. They made money, and they made more money than they have been able to over the past few years. So definitely a stock that I want to hold on to, and at the very least continue to monitor what's going on to see if this stock price goes up, down, sideways. We just don't know. Next up, we'll talk about Microsoft. In next week's video, we'll go more in depth about the Xbox release, as that has been very interesting on its own. But of course, Microsoft is another large portion of my portfolio, now making up over $1,000 and nearly 8% of the portfolio. Total return is up $139 or nearly 15%. We zoom out to the month, we can see they're down about 3%, but I'm not too concerned. Over the past 3 months, up 2.5%. over the past year up 47%, and 5 years now up 295%. Again, if we go down to their earnings, we can see that last earnings call was very solid for them. Awesome to see. Those earnings continue to rise, and just the same as Sunrun, this is the highest their earnings has been over the past 7 to 8 quarters. So very excited about that. And as I mentioned, next week we will talk about the release of the new Xbox and how that has gone wrong. What may be my favorite stock in the entire portfolio is right here, Penn National Gaming, trading at $63 per share. I have 10 shares, makes up less than 5% of my portfolio. Total return is now up $332, or over 110%. So on the week, we can see Penn is down 2%. Zoom to the past 3 months, up 18%. Over the past year, up 186%, and 5 years now up 256%. I've mentioned it time and time again. The sports gambling industry is just in its infancy. It's going to continue to grow, and Penn National Gaming already has a large market share in Pennsylvania, and there's now rumors that it's going to be opening up in 3 to 4 more states within the next 6 months, which could be huge for both their market share, but in my opinion, even bigger for the entire sports gambling industry. So definitely a stock I will continue to buy. On the flip side, here we have AT&T trading at $28.35 a share. Total return is down about $40, or 11.5% on this. I, of course, love the strong dividend here, but AT&T and their recent struggles is something that's continuing to concern me more and more every week. Let me know what you think down in the comments, but AT&T is obviously a very well-known company that has struggled as of late. If we zoom out to the past month, we can see up 1.4%, 3 months still down 5%. Over the past year, down 28%, and 5 years now down 14%. This Sprint T-Mobile merger is certainly not helping. There's talks about them getting rid of their TV sort of spinoffs that they own. AT&T does own a lot of TV providers, a lot of subsidiaries internationally, and there's a lot going on. If we zoom out to their last earnings call, we can see that it's down, but not significantly. They do still have strong earnings, and of course, extremely high dividend here. This is currently paying out at 52 cents a share, and we anticipate that that will rise to at least 53 cents a share in the next year, and that's really the main focus of AT&T, is that very strong dividend. Last stock for today is KeyBank. I'm actually looking at selling a few shares of this to purchase more of my ETFs, as well as some more Bitcoin, which we'll talk about at the end of the video. Total return here is now down $9, or about 9.5%. But if we zoom out, we can see it's looking much better than it was before. So down about 9.5% in the past month, up 13% over the past 3 months. Still down 24% on the year, and 5 years now only up about 8%. This one has a decent dividend, but it's such a small part of my portfolio and a company that I don't know enough about that I'm very comfortable selling these shares. But let me know if you think I should sell them or hold on to them. Only makes up about 0.5% of this portfolio. Last but certainly not least is Bitcoin, which has exploded again this week, now over $16,000. This is the highest price Bitcoin has had since very early 2018. Since very late 2017, very early 2018. We just don't know how fast Bitcoin's going to continue to rise. I personally believe that it's going to fall off. If we zoom out to the week, we can see up 4% on the week, and the month now up 41.3%. It's just too much growth. I think it has to stop at some point. I could certainly be wrong, but I'm looking at some sort of pullback here. But I will continue to purchase. Now makes up 32% of my portfolio, and the quantity is now up to 0.265 Bitcoins. My average cost is just below $10,000. I anticipate that rising over $10,000 here very soon. For the past 3 months, up 40.5%. Over the past year now, up 85%, and 5 years, you always love to see it up 4,200%. Bitcoin will be a very interesting one. If you'd like me to cover some other some altcoins or go deeper into my analysis of Bitcoin, please let me know. I would love to do that, and I'll be back with another video next week. Thanks.